We are back. It's the Joe Holka Show, presented by Line Movement. Week 7, top picks against the spread. Of course, if you have not joined myself, Peter Overzet, Michael Leone every Sunday night for the Tilt Space, you're really missing out. We're in 20th place, the Las Vegas Super Contest Gold winner-take-all tournament. We copped up a $5K entry fee for this one, so hopefully you guys will join us and sweat along the way. It is on the Line Movement YouTube channel every Sunday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This week, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be starting at Sunday Night Football halftime because now that DraftKings has added that game to the main slate, obviously the Cardinals and Seahawks, a lot is going to be kind of in the balance of what happens in that game. So it's going to be a ton of fun. We'll normally be at 6:30, of course, but make sure you guys join us this week only. Sunday Night Football halftime. Going to go through our top bets against the spread again, but also some of the picks that we have on the DraftKings higher stakes scene. So join us for that. All right, with that out of the way, let's jump right into our picks against the spread for week 7. The first one that I want to talk about today is going to be Green Bay -3.5 at the Texans. Now, the Packers are 4-1. Texans are 1-5. Obviously been a little bit better after they fired their head coach, but the Packers 4-1 against the spread this season, tied for the best rate in the NFL. Not a lot of get-right spots better than going against this Houston defense. So I'm really excited about the Packers this week overall from a DFS perspective, but I'm definitely willing to kind of toss out that game last week against this elite Tampa Bay front. I think that defense might be the best in the league. I think it's that good. So I think we're going to kind of look past that from a Green Bay perspective. Also, Green Bay 7-4 against the spread after a loss since the 2018 season. So both teams in this game, bottom 5 in pressuring the quarterback. I think that's a huge thing. If you did want to go for the over in this game, I'm definitely on board with that. But even for some reason, the passing game stutters, I think that this edge still clearly goes to the Packers. Aaron Jones just in an absolute smash spot against a team that Derrick Henry just punished in week 6. So again, the Texans 2-7-1 against the spread against NFC teams over their past 10 games, just 1-5 against the spread this season overall. So I think Green Bay can control this one with the ground game if they choose to, and they're just going to continue their dominance against AFC teams in which they are 8-2 against the spread over their past 10 games, 7-3 straight up. The next pick I want to talk through today, New Orleans -7.5 versus the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Panthers are 3-3. Saints are 3-2. Still no Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers in this one, but I do think that if you were to look at the Saints side of this, they know Teddy Bridgewater better than anyone. I really think they're going to be able to get creative with some of these blitz packages and pressure overall. The Saints have a defensive line in the top third, roughly, of the NFL. They definitely are not opposed to bringing the heat. The Panthers kind of a middling offensive line, but the Panthers have lost 5 straight divisional games, 1-4 against the spread in those losses. They are in a tough spot here. I think that one thing we always want to look towards, especially in some of these games where teams are coming off the bye, is just those historical numbers, right? So it is a very good spot for New Orleans. If you're just looking at teams coming off of the bye, so a little bit of extra rest, 162, 121, and 9 against the spread. So I do think it's an amazing spot if you just want to look at some of those longer term trends. Breeze in general, so if we're just looking at New Orleans in that same spot with extra time to prepare, 12-5 against the spread. So I think just in general, giving Sean Payton extra time to scheme against this like very poor Carolina defense overall, I think they make it work even if they don't have Michael Thomas available in this game. Obviously, the conviction on this pick goes up. If we do get Michael Thomas, he's a true difference maker for this offense on the New Orleans side. But even if he is not in this game, I think we look for Alvin Kamara to be a difference maker and carry the Saints to a victory alongside maybe a few key defensive plays if they can get to Teddy Bridgewater. I think this is an amazing spot. One of my favorite upsets of the week is going to be the San Francisco 49ers +2 at the New England Patriots. Now, the 49ers 3-3. Somehow, believe it or not, the Patriots are 2-3, but I like this line quite a bit as a slight underdog in this spot. San Francisco getting healthier on defense. They're still 7-2 against the spread over the last 9 games against AFC teams, so those are one of the things that I like to look at personally. 9-4 straight up over their past 13 games against AFC teams overall as well, and they've covered in 6 straight games as an underdog. So I actually think this is a pretty reasonable spot. Cam Newton just did not look good in his return from the COVID list last week. I think that there's a chance that the narrative is that he'll just improve going forward in this one just after kind of knocking that rust off. But I don't know. If you're just looking at the Patriots, 3-8-1 against their spread in their last 11 games, if you include the playoffs. Obviously, no Tom Brady anymore, but this team might not be as elite. I do think that just in general, no one thinks they're probably elite anymore, but San Francisco, I think, is truly underrated. So obviously this video, we don't have our final picks in for the tilt space. You'll have to check out the show on Sunday night to see who we actually landed on. One that we're currently wrestling with, and let me know in the comments which side you would be on here. But Buffalo -13 at the New York Jets. So Buffalo 4-1, the Jets obviously 0-6. The Bills did cover last time these two teams met as a 6-point favorite, but the Jets overall 0-6 against the spread this year. They're one of two teams that have yet to cover this year overall, Dallas being the other one. The Bills 9-4-1 against the spread in their past 14 games dating back to last season. This Jets team is actually so bad that I think the Vegas is still trying to test the waters a little bit with this line. 13 points on the road. That's a lot to lay here, but I'm interested overall. I think that the Bills, I mean, just looking at this team, 5-1 straight up in their past 6 games as a road favorite, 4-2 against the spread in those games. That said, the Sharps are pretty clearly on the Jets in this one just by looking at where the money's at. But I don't know if personally I can do it against this potentially historically bad Jets team. Literally just shut out 24-0 by the Dolphins last week. They're devoid of talent completely. We know that. I really think that 0-16 could be in play for this team. That's how bad they are. I think the Bills win comfortably again in this spot, and I think they cover again like they did in week 1. But let me know in the comments what side you would be on. It's a lot of points to lay here. Should we be on the Jets here and kind of, I guess, tail the Sharps, or is this just too much? Do the Sharps just continue to get buried in these large underdog spots? I think I'm personally on the Buffalo side of this one, but want to know what you guys think also. If you enjoyed this video, be sure and toss a like before you get out of here and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, always want to remind everyone that I do this show with Peter Overzet and Michael Leone every Sunday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time called The Tilt Space over on the Line Movement YouTube channel. Check my description if you want to figure out how to get over there. This week, with the Cardinals and Seahawks, again, Sunday Night Football, also on the DraftKings slate. We're going to be starting at halftime of Sunday Night Football this week only. We're currently tied for 20th place in the Vegas Super Contest Gold 5K entry. So come sweat with us. In fact, let me know in the comments, again, your favorite bet against the spread for Week 7. Also, what side of that Buffalo and Jets game that you would be on. And we'll see you guys on Sunday.